luck charms here. I'm joined by the Mitchell family. Stevie Mitchell, number 4.
Obviously, January could be a lot worse, Delaney.
This is true. And one thing I want to point out is I am seeing, along with a lot of number 12s jerseys, as we usually do, I'm seeing a lot of number 9 jerseys. A lot of Christian Watson fans out here hoping to get a glimpse of him. And I know he's had the spotlight. He's the rookie. Always had a big chip on his shoulder to come out and prove himself. But I think we got to give a go to Allen Lazard as well, especially when it comes to the Detroit Lions. 5 touchdowns the last 8 games he's played. I think he's Mr. Efficiency, too. Tonight feels like winner takes all against number 1 Marquette and number 2 Xavier. Marquette head coach Shaka Smart says that tonight's matchup will come down to who can take and keep that pace for all 2 halves of basketball, which means that for the Golden Eagles tonight, all eyes will be on point man Tyler Kolek, who's become one of the best traffic controllers in the nation, recently surpassing 200 assists while upping his contribution to the point total. A sellout, and they also sold standing room only tickets, so it's going to be a fun one tonight. And I haven't really decided, is it the building or is it just the changing of the guard, because things have been pretty darn good for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Marquette Golden Eagles under Fiserv Forum's roof. And tonight, as you mentioned, they could get that much better. Brian Gutekunst did double down on his belief and trust that Jordan Love can and eventually will lead the Packers. That tells me that whether it's 2023 or beyond, he's drafting for 1 quarterback and 1 quarterback only, and it's no longer Aaron Rodgers. Shaka Smart has done nothing but preach defense, defense, defense since taking over the Golden Eagles, and there's clearly something to that mindset. Now, the whole team has bought in. However, sophomore Stevie Mitchell has taken it to heart. He's currently averaging 1.8 steals per game, the same as Tyler Kolek. However, he's doing it averaging 10 minutes less than Kolek.
Having a great...
Oh, I love you, buddy. Watching you in high school to see this, could you ever imagine that this was what it was going to be when you came to Marquette?
I had no idea. Just giving a praise to what we've done so far, the connections, the relationships we've built, the coaching staff leading us through the way. This is all so special to me, and I'm so excited.
After you guys beat Butler, you said something that really stuck with me. Most programs, they sell you on championships. Marquette didn't do that. Well, now you got 1 regular season championship, and now you have a tournament championship. What does this mean?
You know, it really means a lot. First year coming here, they sold me on winning. I came here because I wanted to win. And, you know, the regular season champs and conference champs is really cool, but we want more.
Now, I know Shaka told us that any individual award is very much a team award. You have 2 of those now, Big East Player of the Year and MVP of the tournament. What can you say about your guys that have helped you through this? And I guess been and always had their hands open for whenever you want to pass them the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I just put them in the right spots, and they do the rest. I mean, I can't say enough how proud I am of these guys. The growth that we've made this year, it's been crazy.
The NCAA tournament has just begun, and it's already evicted a number 4 seed in Virginia and a number 2 seed in Arizona. Now, rent is due again today. This time, it's Marquette's turn. The Golden Eagles are going to take on a Vermont team that's actually on a 15-game winning streak right now. They've been winning since January 19th. That said, in comparison to Marquette, the Catamounts, they're a little older, but they're not as big. Not the giants that Marquette could see later on down the line. Thanks, Lance. I want to address one of 2 things. The first, you mentioned Tyler Kolek going out in the first 3 minutes of that game. I had a chance to catch up with him in the locker room, and he told me it's not his wrist. That's what we were thinking when we saw him wincing during the game. It's actually his thumb. He caught his thumb on a jersey, and it bent backwards, but he says he's going to be just fine. And, of course, as we saw, he came back into the game. Michael Kennedy has been setting up the party for the Marquette Golden Eagles since 2019. Now, I hope you're following me because I am talking about basketball here. By setting up the party, I'm talking about getting the team ready. As a member of the scout team, the Mequon native is in charge of replicating offenses and defenses to prepare his teammates. Now, this is the most important moment for Michael because, as he tells me, Marquette is hoping to face a different opponent every other night, meaning that he has to do his job every single night. When it comes to the NCAA tournament, there is one phrase that can define every single team's mentality: survive and advance. And for the Marquette Golden Eagles, who have used themes to focus and conquer this entire season, it's a different version of that saying and belief. Instead of survive and advance, it's free solo, taken from the documentary of one man who had a dream of climbing 3,000 feet without equipment. It was a record-breaking night, but not for the home team. The Miami Heat took a 5-4 lead after a Tyler Hero made 3 and never looked back. Now Hero would exit the game later with a broken hand, leaving Jimmy Butler to lead the Heat to a 130-117 victory in Game 1. But this was more than a loss for the Milwaukee Bucks, with Giannis Antetokounmpo exiting the game as well with a lower back contusion. Head coach Mike Budenholzer addressing the injury after the game. Craig Counsell said it best last week. Every major league season is sacred, and if you're good and lucky, a player may get 15 shots to do something that the Milwaukee Brewers and every team in baseball tries to do: win a World Series. But what do Milwaukee sports fans love more than winning? They love someone who loves to win in Milwaukee. Entering his 7th season, first baseman Luke Voigt could become a Bobby Portis of sorts for the Brew Crew. He's jumped around, faced some adversity, but he knows exactly what he wants. And what he wants is to be here in Milwaukee. If you're a baseball purist, you may want to tune me out for the next minute or so, because we are talking about change. Major League Baseball wants to speed up the game. They've got a plan, and the driving force behind that plan is this little puppy right here. It's the pitch clock. Now, a pitcher will have 15 seconds to deliver the pitch with no runners on. With runners on, 15 seconds turns to 20 seconds. So what does a batter have to worry about? Well, really not that much, except they have to be in the batter's box with at least 8 seconds left on that pitch clock. Rowdy Tellez mentioned that this may be a way for batters to throw a pitcher off of their groove and use this pitch clock in their favor. However, should a batter step into that box late, they will be charged a strike. And yes, we have already seen this in the first weekend of baseball. In fact, Seattle Mariners fans started counting down the pitch clock. So if that happens here or on the road and the Brewers need help figuring that out, I'm sure they can just ask Giannis how he got over it. Okay, you can't win them all, but the way Marquette lost to UConn Tuesday night was so uncharacteristic that Saturday's seemingly pointless game against a 1-13 Georgetown became a must-watch in the Big East. While free agency has yet to begin in the NFL, the Brewers have officially signed Brian Anderson. The third baseman, with a little outfielder side in him, spoke to the media today, making it clear he'll play wherever Craig Counsell wishes. By now, you've probably read something on social media, and we all know text doesn't always convey the correct tone. That said, it's hard to hear anything other than uninterested in Mark Murphy's voice. Rain turned into snow Sunday night, but somehow the Milwaukee Bucks left Fiserv Forum with a third-degree burn. Thank goodness it was only Game 1. As Drew Holiday said after the 130-117 loss, these two teams are just feeling each other out.
Delaney Brey leads our team coverage. Delaney, the Bucks really need this effort.
Yes, they did. And you know, karma may be Taylor Swift's boyfriend or a cat purring in her lap, but for the Bucks, karma is a 3. Karma is 81 points in the first half. The Karma and the Bucks, well, they just vibe like that. Game 2, like you said, no Giannis, no problem. Any rust left going into tonight was knocked off by Brook Lopez, destroying the hoop from every angle. Miami Heat turned into steam by Drew Holiday, 21 points in the first half. And we haven't even got to the bench. The bench contribution, Pat Connaughton, a perfect 5 for 5 from the field, 3s included. Those 81 points, a new franchise playoff record, by the way, for Milwaukee. No deer in headlights tonight. The current score, 120-95, about 7 minutes left in that fourth quarter. We're looking good, guys. Now, the sun has set on the Aaron Rodgers era in Green Bay, as the Packers and Jets have come to an agreement and a trade is in place. With 11 picks, including the 13th overall, Brian Gutekunst made it clear this is not a rebuild, and he is drafting to win in 2023. The Brew Crew is ready for the 2023 season to begin, although Willie Adames had no problem admitting that he will be wearing long sleeves tomorrow. And Corbin Burns, when asked if he had any butterflies for his second opening day start, joked that it is too cold for butterflies. I love it. But other than that, their minds are on baseball.